Welcome in to the Tour de Shrug Cycling Podcast for a very special edition, our Giro d'Italia preview, the first Grand Tour of the year. The Giro d'Italia, it starts this coming Friday in Bulgaria, of all places. The excitement is palpable, despite kind of a thinned out start list. But yeah, I'm super excited. What I want to do is I want to preview this race. I'm going to connect with some of my past guests, or at least try to see if they are excited as I am. I doubt it, but you never know. So join with me as I preview the Giro d'Italia, primarily alone, but hopefully with some friends along the way. We're going to get into the GC battle, the young rider classification, the points jersey, some of the potential stages, some strategies, among other things, right? So, yeah, let's get into it. First thing, I want to talk about what a Grand Tour is, because some of, my listeners might be new to cycling. I hope you are. I hope we also have some big cycling fans in there. But yeah, for those of you who are new to cycling and may not know what a Grand Tour is, got you covered. All right. So here's what you need to know. There are 3 Grand Tours in cycling. The Tour de France is the big one. Everyone knows about the Tour de France. The Vuelta a España, the Tour of Spain, is the final Grand Tour of the year. That's generally in end of summer. And then the Giro d'Italia, the Tour of Italy, is the first Grand Tour of the year. And yeah, it always, the excitement leading up to it is very big. Now, Grand Tours, they run a total of 3 weeks, 21 stages. It's like running a marathon every day for 21 days. This year, it's going from May 8th until May 31st. And it's going to be great. So the way that the GC generally works for a Grand Tour is the rider with the fastest time over the course of those 21 stages is the overall winner. And the wearer of the Maya Rosa, as they call it, the pink jersey. In the Tour, it's a yellow jersey. In the Giro, it is pink. Does that make any sense? Okay. How about this? Let's say on stage 1, there's rider A and there's rider B. Obviously, there's like 170 whatever riders at the start line, but let's say it's just 2 for the sake of explaining how this works. Let's say rider A wins stage 1 by 30 seconds. We'll leave bonus seconds out of it for the sake of this explanation. At the end of stage 1, rider A has a 30-second lead over rider B. Let's say in stage 2, rider B wins by 20 seconds over rider A. Now, heading into stage 3, rider A is in first place by 10 seconds. Now, extrapolate that over the course of 21 stages. Now, does it make sense? I don't know. All right. You know what? Let's call a friend and see what their understanding of GC is.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I didn't know if you would pick up because I figured you were working.
I am, but I picked up anyway.
Oh man. All right. Well, here's the thing. What I wanted to first ask is the Giro d'Italia is starting this Friday. Where do you think it starts?
Wait, I'm on the podcast right now
Yeah.
while I work.
Yeah. It's okay.
Goodness.
Yeah.
I'm so anywhere. Hopefully my boss doesn't hear this. Where does it start? I mean, Italy.
That's what you would think. Guess what? It starts in Bulgaria.
Okay, that makes no sense. Well, does it go like through Italy?
Well, yeah, it does eventually. The first 3 stages are in Bulgaria. Here's the other thing I wanted to ask you though. What would you say GC stands for?
No idea. General.
Yes, you got the first word. You got it.
General. Yeah, I don't know. He's got to be some cycling term. I don't know.
General cyclist? No, I'm just kidding. It stands for general classification. All right.
Okay, well, that's not a cycling term. That's it.
It's the leader of the overall thing is the general classification. But yeah, I just wanted to check in to see if you were excited about the Giro.
Well, yeah. Well, as you can see, my cycling knowledge has really come very far in the last month or so here.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm glad.
I should probably do my work now.
Yeah.
Let me know when and where I can tune in.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for participating. I will talk to you later. All right, bye. Didn't go as well as I had hoped, but it is what it is. We will see, if Danny calls me back at some point. Anyway, let's get into the favorites of the race because we got, one good one and then a lot of second tier favorites. There's one person I do have to call, though, to talk about the favorites. My lovely wife, Erin, because she is a big fan of one rider in particular.
Hello.
Hello. What's happening?
What's up?
Nothing. I'm just, making a preview podcast for the Giro, and I wanted to talk to you about the favorites of the race because I know you care so much about the Giro d'Italia, right?
Right. So much. So much.
Here's the one thing I do want to say, though. We met in Italy, so this should matter to her because I love Italy and I love cycling and her, obviously, but no, it's this combination of things.
It's Italy, then cycling, then opposite.
Oh my gosh. All right. But here's another thing, though. Here's another thing. You are a big fan of one rider in particular, and he is coming to this race. Who is going to win the Giro d'Italia?
Well, I'm all in for Jonas always. So Jonas better win, or I'm going to be pissed.
Yep, Jonas Vingegaard. How you say it? He is the huge favorite, like heavy favorite heading into this race. Here are the other favorites, though, in case you're wondering, because I know you care so much. We got Giulio Pellizzari. You a fan of him at all?
Has he been in the documentary you made me watch?
No. I don't think anyone.
You would say no, because I only really care about the people I saw in that.
You know who is in it, who was in the Tour de France Unchained, was Ben O'Connor. He was the recurring character.
Was he the one that was, complained a lot?
Yeah, kind of.
I don't like him very much.
All right.
Job in one of them, and we were proud. I don't know.
All right. So Ben O'Connor, if you're listening, I think you're a good guy. I do. But Netflix did you dirty. What are you gonna do? But yeah, this should be a dog walk for Jonas. Like he should just demolish everyone, right?
And he better.
Yeah.
I mean, I always have high hopes.
All right. So do you want to keep talking to me about cycling or no?
Do I have a choice?
Fine. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. All right. She's a huge fan of Jonas. I thought maybe she'd be a little bit more interested. Apparently not. All right. I'm going to get into the stages. The route this year consists of 9 flat stages, including the opening stage, which generally a flat stage is going to be, for the sprinters. Most of the time. You never know, though. We also have 6 hilly stages is what they're classified as. So that's up and down quite a bit throughout the day, but nothing that's like a huge, super big climb. Then we have 5 mountain stages, which is exactly what it sounds like. A mountain stage, though, can be a what they call like unipuerto, which is like flat and then a big mountain at the end, or it can be a multi-mountain stage where it's like up and down multiple huge mountains all day, any of which I probably would struggle mightily to get up, and they go over all of them very, very fast. And then the other type of stage we have is we have one individual time trial. Now, a time trial is every rider goes 2 minutes after the next rider, right? 1 minute after the next rider. And then it's just rider with their bike against the road. No tactics, no drafting benefits, anything like that. It's just the most pure form of like, who's going to win? So those are the different types of stages that we have, obviously kind of mixed and matched. But yeah, we got some good things coming up. What I want to do though is I want to talk to Dan, who is on the Milano San Remo podcast, and see what he thinks of these stages. All right. I'm just going to recap this with him real quick.
Well, feel free to keep out the number, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Dan, this is Luke Padilla from the Tour de Shrug podcast calling you right now. You are on the pod right now. Your voicemail is on the pod. I was just calling because we got the Giro D'Italia starting this Friday. And I just, wanted to see how excited you were about this, upcoming Grand Tour. Wanted to see what you thought about the different stages. If you were like, excited about any specific, stages in particular. Or, if you're just, excited for all of it. Just wondering if maybe you're going to close down Happy's to, have some viewings of the race. But, just want to see what you thought. My thoughts are, there's stage 14, 16, 19, and 20 are big mountain stages in the second and third week. I think Jonas could easily win the race there, but I don't think it'll come to that. And I'll tell you why in a little bit. But, just, wanted to see if you agreed with me. That's all. Anyway, say hi to the podcast, Dan's voicemail. All right. No one's answering. They're all working. What can I say? I have Mondays off. All right. So, like I said, we have those big mountain stages. I don't think it's going to come to that because here is my, maybe it's out of the box prediction of what's going to happen. We have the first stage is a sprint stage. Second stage, I think Jonas might take a little bit of time there, but this is where I think he's actually going to make it happen. Stage 5 from Praia Mare. Sorry, I can't pronounce these things. To Potenza, 203 kilometers. It's a hilly stage. Here's what I think is going to happen here. I think Visma is going to use this stage in the following type of way. They're going to get riders in the breakaway. Ideally, someone like Victor Campenaerts, Bart Lemon, someone like that. Now, there's a climb, however many kilometers it is, maybe it's 40 kilometers from the finish, called the Montagna Grande di Viggiano. It's 6.6 kilometers at 9.2%. How this is a category 2 makes no sense to me. 6.5 kilometers at 9% is hell steep. What I think is going to happen, though, is Visma will get riders in the breakaway. They're going to ensure that the breakaway gets enough of a gap so that they can get over that climb before the peloton does. And then I think Jonas will attack on that super steep climb, bridge across to Campenaerts, Lemon, whoever it is, maybe both, and take a ton of time that way. Because he can go from far out if he has to. His team is super strong. He can make a huge difference on that early climb. Maybe he even has someone like Pellizzari with him. Maybe Bernal, who knows? But even if he does, I don't think he'll care. He'll take time on everyone else and just start putting some of the competitors out the window. I think that he's going to win the stage, puts 45 seconds to a minute, maybe more, and everyone. Yeah, that's kind of what I think. I think he's going to just kind of surprise people with that type of stage instead of waiting for the mountain stages. 2 days later, there's stage 7 to Blockhaus, the mountain. This is a 244 kilometer stage, which is crazy long. Huge summit finish. It's a very steep climb. And then I think, 2 days after that, Jonas is going to just put an additional minute to 2 minutes into everyone else. He'll be 2 to 3 minutes ahead at that point. And then the rest of the race, I think he just chills, stays in cruise control to make sure he has optimal preparation for the tour. And that way he can kind of just stay at the back, take minimal risks. And people, no one's going to try and challenge him at that point. It'll be a good battle for podium or for top 10. So that's kind of what I think will happen. I think we'll get Visma letting the breakaway win for a lot of those week 2 and week 3 stages. Maybe one or two of them in week 3, one of those big mountain stages, Jonas will probably still want to win. But I think Visma will let the breakaway win quite a bit. I don't think, not to be a downer, against Pogacar. I get it. If I was in his shoes and I could win any stage I want, I probably would just be like, hey, team, set me up and I'll win. I think Jonas is a little bit different, and he'll just be like, I'll take time on people if I have to, but he'll let the breakaway win. So yeah, what I think is going to happen is Jonas is going to win the overall. I think Giulio Pellizzari is going to come second. I'm going to back my boy for third. I'm going to go Egan Bernal podiuming the Giro, which I think would be really great. We also have the young rider competition, which is the best overall placed rider under the age of 25. This one's super easy. This is going to be Giulio Pellizzari. Unless he crashes out. Maybe Piganzoli, but I doubt it. Pellizzari should easily win this. We also have the mountains classification. Now, each climb, whether it's a mountain or like, a hill to a certain degree, there are some unclassified ones, but most of them are classified based on difficulty. So we have category 4 would be the easiest one. 3 gets harder than that. 2 is harder than that. 1 is hard. And then there's HC climbs are the hardest climbs out there, right? And depending on the classification, there's a certain number of points allotted to the first rider, second rider, third rider, however many riders up over the top. And say you're the first rider over a category 1 climb, you're going to get whatever it is, 20 points towards that classification. The rider with the most points in that mountains classification gets the polka dotted jersey, which is fun. A lot of times the overall winner of general classification will win the mountains classification. I don't think that'll happen this time. My money's on someone like Jay Vine or Adam Yates winning the mountains classification. The points jersey generally goes to the best sprinter in the race. You get points for winning stages, coming in second, and so forth. And generally the flat stages have the most points there. Sometimes that can change, and sometimes, a GC rider can win the points classification, but most of the time it's the best sprinter. Jonathan Milan has won this points classification 2 times, 3 times, at least 2 times. My money is on Tobias Lund Andresen. I think he is gonna at least be like, top 5ing all of the big bunch sprints, and I think he can be there on those harder stages as well. And yeah, can just get over climbs and take time or take points at intermediate sprint points and things like that. It's hard to count out Jonathan Milan, but that's, where my money is. Well, that's going to do it for my preview of the Giro d'Italia, starting in Bulgaria, ending with a Danish winner, most likely. I'm super excited for the Grand Tour season to start off with a bang. I will be back with hopefully weekly recaps of the Giro. At the very least, it'll be, like a part 1, part 2 recap. But yeah, not totally sure yet. But yeah, either way, I'll have those recaps and I'm excited for it. Lastly, I do want to ask, who do you think is going to win the Giro d'Italia? What do you think is going to happen? What would your strategies be? Let me know in the comments. Clearly, my friends don't care about the Giro. So let's get into it. Let me know your thoughts and we can, discuss. Thanks so much for listening, though. Appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Cheers.